on camera or not?
Not yet. I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Let's see what's going on here.
Maybe you have your stop video icon clicked.
I don't think I had anything clicked.
Ah, there you are. Hi.
Where are you?
See you. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm doing fairly well. I mean, having withdrawal symptoms from conducting. This is the longest I've gone in 30 years. You know.
Yeah. And where are you guys in New York?
No, LA. LA is. Been here, 20 some years, and both my Heidi, my wife, and my daughter Michaela are home with me.
Yeah.
What's your kids?
They're both home right now. McKinley just graduated after 3 years at virtual graduation last weekend.
Yeah. Wow.
Home from CCM after her freshman year.
But
we won't know if it's going back or not.
Right, exactly. Maybe they'll be back in September, maybe not. Anyway, thank you so much for doing this. My three orchestras are trying to get kind of anything out there.
Yeah, totally
get the community's attention and keep ourselves in their faith, if you will. So I prepared a few questions. You went to Millikan, right?
Yes.
Take me from Millikan to Broadway. Your first impressions moving to New York City. What was your life like those early months when you first moved to the city? How did that all work?
Okay, so I went to Millikan. I was 17 when I started college. So I was there for the first year. And then the winter break of that first year, I auditioned for a sort of like a Broadway review type of show at a local Chicago hotel venue. So I went to that audition, started my sophomore year of college, and in February or March of my sophomore year, that show called and said, our leading lady in Los Angeles broke her ankle, and can you be here like in 3 or 4 weeks? And I said, well, I'm in the middle of my spring semester of my sophomore year. And so I kind of went to my directors, my teachers, my professors, and everybody was like, absolutely. Except the head of the department was not so positive. Obviously, he was like, you're never going to amount to anything. This is the worst decision of your life. And I said, well, I can come right back. I mean, I think I only cut off the last 3 weeks of school. So I finished the show that I was doing, and I took all of my exams early. So I didn't skip anything. I just kind of squished it all in. And so I left, and I did that show for about 6 months. I toured with that show, and then moved to New York after that because I had, met a casting director through Ray as we were dating, and thought, well, let's just kind of toss it out there and see what happens. So I stayed on.
Did you get your equity card through that show?
Not through the first tour. That was a non-equity. And so I was 18. I don't think I had turned 19 yet. And then went to New York and went to this audition that the friend that we knew, which was a casting director who had just seen Ray in a show, and said, just come to the open call. And it was the national tour of Joseph.
Oh, yeah.
And so we both got cast in the ensemble. Ray played one of the brothers. And so with that open call, I got my equity card and then went on a national tour for the year. So
nice.
I did not go back to Millikan until I was doing Crazy for You 10 years later, and talking to Roy Disney and his dad, Roy Disney Sr., who's a good friend of mine. And he's like, what will it take for you to graduate? Why don't you just check it out, find out? So I did. And while I was doing Crazy for You, I graduated from college. So I did.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
you did your coursework while in New York City doing Crazy for You?
Yeah. Yeah. So I write my paper. I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But what I did is I kind of shoved the remaining 2 years for my degree into about a semester. So they flew the powers that be from Millikan, came to see the show.
Oh.
And while they watched the show, they were basically clipping me out of tap 101, tap 202, tap 3, tap 4.
Nice.
So I was able to get all of those credits accrued,
Got it.
which I was paying for. And then my
I
practice.
mean, that's actually very nice of them. There are a lot of academic institutions would never do that.
Right. Well, what I had to do is
Flexible and frankly, that practical. You're
right.
studying. You were studying at their school to do what you were now doing on Broadway.
Right.
That's a credit to them, I would say.
Well, what I had to do is I had to appeal to the board of directors, and it had to be unanimous, because you have to go back to the catalog of my graduating year, which was 1983, and it's now 1993. So the petition had to be is that I had straight A's and I was a legitimate student. I wasn't looking for an honorary degree,
right.
But I wanted to continue on the catalog that I was where I was for my graduating year, rather than the new catalog, which would then kind of annihilate a lot of those credits.
Wow.
Well, it was all unanimous, and except for one. And the one gentleman felt like I was asking for an honorary degree and that I was just wanting a piece of paper. And so the president of the university said, no, she's actually trying to finish her catalog. It's just that she's been working. So his vote changed, and that gave me the permission to go ahead and finish. So during my 1 week vacation, which I hadn't taken one in 2 years, I flew on campus. I did all my practicals. I did my senior recital.
Oh my God.
And then when I finished all my school, the next day I did a community-wide concert and sold out the theater, which was a paid concert as a professional. And then that money went to pay for my college education. And then I flew back again for a long weekend and took off a day from work. And I walked 10
wow.
years. My grandmother and my mom there, my family, Ray and I flew. So it was really fun. And I'm glad that
That's
I did
awesome.
it. Yeah, I'm glad I did it. So Millikan was very good to me. I had a great experience.
That's really wonderful. So
big time school for musical theater, but back then we were the first class for the BFA in musical theater. It was all new then.
I mean, when I was in undergraduate, there were no programs in musical theater anywhere. If you wanted to sing, they taught you opera, and that was it.
Right, which I learned, and I'm so grateful for that training.
Well, absolutely. Great training is great training. Take me to Crazy for You in terms of when you first heard about the Tony nomination. Where were you when you heard? Who called you?
Let's see. They come out. Didn't they come out in the mid? Do they come out in the midday or something like that? So I think I was in the condo, the apartment that we had sublet, Ray and I, and waiting for the announcement. I believe we were watching it. I don't know. Did they do it on TV? I can't remember what they did back then. But anyways, it was just, I was completely shocked. Honestly, I really was not expecting a nomination, because it was such a great year and so many wonderful people, and who am I? So I was not expecting it. I wasn't expecting it. And I think that's what made it extra special, was that it was such a lovely surprise. And then of course, I knew that I wasn't going to win. So then that removes all that pressure, so that you can just enjoy the process and have a lot of fun. Go to the luncheons and all that kind of stuff. So
right. I've heard from any number of artists who just, they were just so honored to be in that pool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk to me about Smile. Now, Smile was before Crazy for You or after?
Yes, before.
It was before. And that's Marvin Hamlish and Howard Ashman.
Yes.
How are those guys? I mean, I knew Marvin fairly well. I never knew Howard Ashman. Talk to me about your working relationship with them, how that all came about.
Amazing. So I had about a 4 or 5 callback process, I think.
Wow. That's a lot of call. Is that not, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a lot of callbacks.
It's a lot of callbacks. Yeah. I think I had the original audition and then maybe 4 after that. I think it was pretty crazy.
Can I ask, along the way, did you get more nervous with each callback, less nervous? How was that working emotionally?
Not really less nervous, but just it was very time consuming and a little bit nerve wracking, just wondering like, what more can I possibly give to you? I've given you everything I've got here. So but the process was amazing, and Howard and Marvin were incredible, and just being in the room with them was quite, I was quite intimidated, needless to say, but they both were generous of spirit and kind. And with each time, then you start to develop a relationship. And the final callback was another dance call. We had to learn another dance combination. And I was, we were at 890. I think we were at 890 Broadway. We were in that studio, and I was on the front line on the far right. And you're just like, oh my gosh, here we go again. You know, just another combination, and just gonna pour it all out here. And so I'm doing it, and I'm learning it, and I'm going for it. And you know, it's just like the fifth time. And all of a sudden Howard comes around, and he's standing at the door, and I'm, you know, in the front row, and he looks over at me and he goes like this, you know, come on out. He opens the door, and I just went, oh, here we go. You know, we're gonna do it right now. We're gonna get cut right now. So I started to cry, and he brought me out in the hallway, and it was just the two of us around the corner. And he goes, why are you crying? I said, no, it's okay. It's okay. I totally get it. It's fine. Thank you so much. I appreciate you just letting me know. Can I just get my dance bag and, you know, basically get the heck out of here? Because I'm gonna break down. You know, you're just so wound up with emotion.
Sure, of course.
He put his hands on my shoulders, and he said, you know, I can't do this to you anymore. I can't watch this anymore. You have the part. You already have the part. I can't take this.
Oh my God.
And then I just fell apart, and
sure.
And he just hugged me, and he patted me on my back. He goes, I couldn't do this to you anymore. You need to know that you have the part. Now, I don't want you to say anything, but I want you to go back in there, and I want you to have a great audition and just have fun. And at that point is when I realized, you know, this man was he was an actor's director. And I knew that he was an actor. I already knew that about him. And I knew that he understood, you know, the heart of a performer. But that was the most gracious thing that anyone's ever done to me.
That's a wonderful thing.
It was a wonderful thing. And he did not have to do that. You know,
that's right. He could have let you suffer, you know, whatever. You said something. He was an actor's director. Talk to me about your relationship with directors. What does that mean for you know, a musician like me, who, I mean, I've done right. And I know what directors are, but what's an actor's director?
It is a person that gets it. They're on the other side of the table, but they are empathetically with you. They are walking in your darky kind of thing.
You froze on my end for a second. Are you still there? Frozen on my end. Can you see me? Yikes. Oh, technology. Did I lose you?